Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy Australia Day. On behalf of the Naracoorte Council, I warmly welcome you here this morning. It's been a slight challenge to organise our Australia Day ceremonies this year, with various things coming into play, but we're really pleased to be able to have this event. It has been moved into the town hall because we thought it was actually going to rain, but I think it's actually quite pleasant in here compared to being outside in the heat, so it works both ways. We are also today, for the first time, live streaming it for anyone who couldn't be here but would like to have a look at it. So we welcome everyone near and far who are watching this ceremony today. I welcome our official party who are not sitting up the front today but are sitting in the auditorium, and they are the people who are our award winners for 2022, our guest speaker, Charles Bryce, and our citizen conferees who will receive their Australian citizenship later in the program. Can you please be upstanding for the national anthem and the acknowledgement of country? There are two verses of the national anthem which are on your program.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. With golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage across Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing across Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Please remain standing just for a moment. We acknowledge and respect the traditional owners of the ancestral lands. Naracoorte was a meeting place of people of the southeast, just as we are today. The Bowendick to the south, the Mantank to the west, ranging from Kingston, the Potterooja to the north, and the Mudgala on the eastern side, ranging from the Little Desert in Victoria. We acknowledge elders past and present. We respect the deep feelings of attachment and relationship of Aboriginal peoples to country. Please be seated. Thank you again all for joining our special celebrations for Australia Day this year. Today we come together to reflect, respect and celebrate Australia Day 2022. We reflect on the resilience of our communities and the spirit of helping and giving that defines us as Australians. And we continue to respect the selfless sacrifice of thousands of first responders and frontline workers in these complicated times, who put the safety and well-being of others before their own. And I'm not only talking about our COVID situation, but also the bushfires that we have once again had in our region. Our community is resilient, and we know that. Rest assured, we are here to support our community in a difficult time with all the energy and resources that we can reasonably muster. We have received apologies for today from our federal member for Barker, Mr Tony Passon, and member for McKillop, Mr Nick McBride, who both passed on their best wishes for a successful event. Mr Passon also forwarded this message to be read on his behalf. Thank you for your generous invitation to celebrate Australia Day at the Naracoorte and Lucindale celebrations. Unfortunately, I am unable to join you as I have accepted invitations elsewhere in the electorate today. On January the 26th, Australians around the nation and those living around the world reflect on what it means to be Australian. For me, Australia Day is a reminder of the tremendous freedoms we enjoy and of how lucky we are to live in the greatest country in the world. Every Australian, from our first Australians to our newest sworn-in citizens, and everyone in between, I'm sure is proud to be part of our shared national story. This Australia Day, I encourage everyone to reflect on what it is to be Australian, to work hard, to contribute to community, have a sense of mateship, of belonging and of prosperity. Let's remember that irrespective of our place of birth, we are united in our common Australian values. While the recent pandemic has been a challenging time for many, in true Aussie spirit, we're pulling together in the face of adversity. Indeed, it is in these tough times that the values that make our nation shine through. This truly is a nation of freedom and opportunity, even in tough times. As Australians, we strive to better ourselves while at the same time supporting others. To all those who have volunteered in support of or donated to those in need this summer, thank you. You are what makes this nation great. I would also like to formally thank those volunteers who have so generously contributed their time to help make this day such a great success. This Australia Day, be proud, be thankful, and most importantly, have a great day celebrating what it means to be Australian. Happy Australia Day, yours sincerely, Tony Passon MP, Federal Member for Barker. I'm now delighted to introduce our guest speaker for this year, Charles Bryce. It's my pleasure to welcome Charles here, who has returned to his hometown to deliver our Australia Day address. Charles is a journalist and the South Australian reporter for the ABC News Breakfast. So I believe he had a late morning this morning compared to normal. Normally it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Away from work, Charles competes in hand cycling at a national level and is a two-time national champion and is aiming for the 2024 Paralympics. So we wish you all the best with that. He's passionate about helping to find a cure for spinal cord injuries and has raised more than $300,000 for research by riding long distances in his hand cycling. Please put your hands together and welcome Charles Bryce.
Thank you, Erica. When we think about 30 minutes throughout the day, we can all agree that it's a pretty short period of time. It's how long it takes to get from Naracoorte to Penola, and it's about a quarter of a football game. But I want you to all imagine this. You're out in the country, you're by yourself, and somewhere we've never been before. The only sound in the air is the wind blowing through the trees, normally a peaceful, soothing sound. You're 5 kilometres from your new home near Loxton. You're 300 kilometres away from your friends and family in Adelaide, and there you are, laying face up in the dirt, fighting for every breath of air. There is a phone in your pocket to call for help, but you can't move a muscle. And suddenly, that 30 minutes feels like a lifetime. That's what happened to me 11 years ago. I was just 19 years old when I fell off a motorbike and broke my neck. That injury has left me a quadriplegic with no feeling or movements below my armpits. I had a very fortunate upbringing right here in Naracoorte, and for the first 19 years of my life, I was just like most of you here today. Although it's the only childhood that I've ever had, I wouldn't change it for the world. I loved sport, I loved adventuring, and I had my life and career as a pilot mapped out from quite a young age. I'd ride motorbikes on the weekends and after school. I'd play football for Kaibi, and I'd play cricket, and I'd race go-karts, and I'd fly aeroplanes. But I was also able to get out of bed when I wanted. I could drive to the shops and get an ice cream late at night, and I could jump in the pool on a hot summer's day. All those simple things that I no doubt took for granted were instantly taken away from me when I fell off that motorbike. I spent 18 months in hospital and rehab. I laid unconscious for about the first 3 weeks, relying on a tube down my throat to breathe for me. I had to learn the simplest of tasks all over again as a 19-year-old. Everything from learning how to drink and feed myself, building up enough strength to be able to breathe on my own again. I guess during that period, there were times where I had a negative outlook on life. My life was turned upside down, and I was going through something that I had never known, I'd never learned about, and I'd never really seen in the community or on TV. And there I was, a 19, 20-year-old, in an electric chair, unable to do life's simplest tasks without any help. When I was in rehab, I was once asked if I thought I was lucky. And for a little while I pretended to think about it, but deep down I knew the answer straight away. Was I lucky? At that time, was I lucky enough to have someone dress me every morning? Was I lucky enough to be in excruciating pain from the simplest of movements? But my life was put into perspective when I was reminded just how lucky I was. How lucky I was to have loving family and friends. How lucky I was to be supported financially. And how lucky I was to have a roof over my head and that I would be loved unconditionally. And that conversation, along with a lot of other factors since that time, have definitely improved my life, and to the point where I try not to take too many things for granted. Leading up to coming here today, I thought about what it meant to be an Australian, and being lucky was one of the things that I kept thinking back to. The reason why I'm lucky and why I consider all of us lucky, all of us in the room lucky, is that we all live in this country, and it's no secret that the Southeast is known as God's country. But here in Australia, everyone is given an opportunity in life, no matter their race, religion, or ability. I've been lucky enough to have opportunities which have now led to full-time employment for me, which for some people in other countries I know they are not as lucky and they don't have that opportunity. We're free to choose the path that we want to go in life without getting dictated to. And we're all afforded a free education, a healthcare system that is first class, where you will not be charged hundreds of thousands of dollars for treatment on a broken neck. One of the other things that would also come to mind was the mateship that we have in Australia as well. I think it's ingrained in us as a culture, as a town, as a community, and as people. I think we rely on it so much, and I certainly did during those 18 months in hospital and rehab, and certainly since every day when I was in hospital, there was always someone in my room visiting, and there were always more people in the waiting rooms to come in to see me, and that's something that's, I guess, allowed me to only have sort of bad moments in days rather than a block of bad days altogether. But having lived here in Naracoorte and still with strong ties, this community has mateship in spades. And it's something that I've been able to experience firsthand. It's certainly in the last couple of years sort of establishing Will to Walk and raising money for spinal cord injuries. Organising it with Sarah Arnold, who is also from Naracoorte, we automatically had the encouragement and support from the Naracoorte community, particularly last year when we were here in October. The Naracoorte community had banded together, and they are the huge reason why we've been able to raise $300,000 for spinal cord injury, and I thank every single member of the community for helping. I hope you all have a great Australia Day for whatever that means to you, and congratulations on the winners award recipients today. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much, Charles, for sharing your thoughts with us and sharing your experiences with us. I think it has touched us all, and we congratulate you on what you've been able to achieve. And you're so right, mateship and friendship really is so important and such a part of being an Australian. So we sincerely appreciate your time and sharing with us your journey on this special day. And we certainly wish you every happiness and success for the future, and go 2024 for you. It's now my pleasure to present the awards to our recipients for the 2022 Naracoorte Australia Day Awards. The Australian Citizen of the Year, the Junior Citizen of the Year Award, and the Community Event of the Year Award are proudly presented by the Australia Day Council of South Australia and are administered by the Naracoorte Lucendale Council. The awards reward and recognise individuals and organisations that have made noteworthy contribution during the current year and or given outstanding service over a number of years to our local community over and above normal employment duties. And it's with great pleasure that I present the Naracoorte Australia Day Citizen of the Year Award to Mandy Tonello. Please. I'm just going to make Mandy stand there while I read out a little bit about what she has done. Thank you, Mandy. Mandy is a generous, community-minded person who over the years has involved herself on a voluntary basis in many local groups and organisations. quietly giving her time, knowledge and expertise to a range of people of differing ages, needs and abilities. She began her working life as a nurse, but with the onset of rheumatoid arthritis in her 30s, she changed careers to working in childcare, supporting children with additional needs, family daycare, and as an early childhood worker at the Naracoorte North Kindergarten. Following her retirement, she has maintained her connection with the kindy and continues to volunteer there on a regular basis, supporting staff and children in any way that is needed. With the onset of arthritis, Mandy looked at ways to help her movement and pain levels, and she ended up training in Tai Chi. For close to 29 years, Mandy has and still does volunteers her time to run a weekly Tai Chi exercise relaxation class for people of all ages and abilities. She was also one of the first members of the local chronic pain support group for people with chronic pain and immune disorder, which has been meeting weekly for a coffee and a chat for more than 20 years. Notably, Mandy has also set up and voluntarily ran a Naracoorte water play program for special needs preschool children for 15 years before it ceased in 2016 due to a lack of funding. For the past 3 years, Mandy has volunteered her time at Moreton Bay House. Along with her sister Mary, she visits weekly and helps organise entertainment for the residents, spends time with residents who are unable to take part in activities, and helps with lunch times. During COVID lockdowns, Mandy and Mary have continued to reach out to residents through FaceTime on iPads. Mandy's nomination form described her as a very kind, compassionate and understanding person who always thinks of others, helping in any way she's able to. We're sure that there are many people in the community who have benefited from their association with Mandy over the years. Congratulations, Mandy.
Get my glasses. My notes. Thank you, Erica, and good morning. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate Lucy and the Naracoorte Show Committee for their awards and all they do for the community as well. I don't think I've been more surprised than to hear that I was to be awarded Citizen of the Year. I was speechless and emotional, to say the least. But honestly, I'm truly honoured to be here today to be accepting this award. So thank you. I'd like to thank the people who nominated me for believing me to be worthy of an award like this. Getting emotional. And thank you to my husband Dennis, my daughter Amy, my son Michael, my son-in-law Hugh, and my grandchildren, Ella and Spencer. Let me take a minute. For all their love and understanding of why I do what I do and supporting me over the years. I grew up with two great role models in my life, my parents, Joe and Eileen Matthews. They were both very community-minded people, involved in many groups and committees, and they have shown me the importance of being involved and helping others. Finally, I would like to thank the rest of my family and my friends for coming here today or watching at home. I forgot they were watching. For supporting me on this very special occasion. It means a lot to me. I started volunteering because I felt I could lend a hand. We think of people who volunteer as someone who gives their time, their knowledge and their skills to help others. But I have learnt it to be so much more. It's not just about giving, but it's also about receiving. let me give you a little insight into my volunteering life. The Chronic Pain Support Group was started by a good friend of mine, Jill Miller, many, many years ago, and I was one of the first members. I went looking for support for myself to find someone to chat to who understood what I was going through. But over the years, I have found not only do I get the support, but I can also give the support to others. I have made some wonderful friends, and we meet weekly for our cuppas and our chats. And we continue to be there for each other, but we also have a lot of fun and laughs. Now let me move on to the kindergarten. Imagine sitting at a Play-Doh table with a group of 4-year-olds, and they're rolling, squishing, cutting the dough. We chat, I ask questions, and we have a lot of fun. I sit there and I watch all the wonderful learning happening. The sharing, the interactions, the counting, the naming of the shapes, the colours, etc. And I walk away after a few hours with joy in my heart. Then I move on to Moreton Bay House with my sister Mary. And we play board games, card games, we have special morning teas, we chat, we have movie mornings. And again, I watch and I listen, and I see the smiles, the interactions, the looks on their faces, and seeing the look on their faces when they see and remember things they haven't remembered for a long time. I hear their laughs and their stories, and I say goodbye and I can walk away with joy in my heart. So now you can understand why I volunteer and how much I receive from it. We are living in this unpredictable world at the moment, and sometimes people feel fearful and disconnected. I believe we can concentrate on the little things in life. It will help us to stay strong, connected, and we can get through some of the fears and replace them with love and compassion. Some of those little things that you could make yours and someone else's day a little better is a random act of kindness, just putting a smile on someone else's face, having fun with your family or friends, taking time to listen and chat to a neighbour, supporting others at work or at home, or just calling another friend for a chat. And I'm sure we can all think of a lot of other things that we could do to make someone else's day a little better. Thank you all for coming today to help celebrate Naracoorte Australia Day. And I'd just like to finish with a quote. We cannot all do great things, but we can all do small things with great love. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that heartfelt speech, Mandy, and I think that really displays just what it is to be an Australian Day Citizen Award winner, and we thank you for all the service and the volunteering that you do to make this town a better place to live. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to present the Naracoorte Australia Day Junior Citizen of the Year Award to Lucy Henske. So if Lucy can come forward. Congratulations, Lucy. This is the first time for several years that we've actually had a Junior Citizen of the Year in Naracoorte. So it's wonderful to present this award to Lucy, and who is being acknowledged for outstanding community service, particularly through sport. And what a stellar year she has had. At the Naracoorte High School's 2021 end-of-year presentation assembly, Lucy was the Barker Shield recipient for community service and spirit, which sums up her achievements perfectly. She also received the UniSA Significant Achievement Award, which is awarded to a senior student who has made significant achievements in their academic studies. So Lucy was described as hardworking, diligent and conscientious, as well as a role model and respected by her peers. And lastly, Lucy received her Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award, and the Duke of Edinburgh Award program is an internationally recognised youth program that challenges individuals to achieve goals in all areas of their life, both in and out of school. That is a really high achievement to get a Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award, so well done. As well as shining academically, Lucy made an outstanding contribution to the community through her passion of sport. At the Naracoorte Demons Netball Club, Lucy had an absolutely outstanding year both on and off the court. She was awarded the Junior Netball Club Person of the Year, Rising Star, which is the best under 21, and runner-up for the A Reserve's Best and Fairest. She also made her A-grade debut and co-coached a junior netball side. At association level, Lucy was also runner-up Best and Fairest for the A Reserves and represented the KNTNA in the under-17s team at the State Country Netball Championships in Adelaide, which made it through to the grand final. Always willing to give a hand wherever she can, Lucy was also awarded a C-grade umpiring badge during the year, which is a significant achievement in itself for someone of her age. Lucy's other passion is basketball, and this year she's thoroughly enjoyed coaching a junior team on Friday nights. What a wonderful achievement and contribution to everything that you do, Lucy. Congratulations.
Firstly, I'd just like to congratulate the other award recipients today, and thank you to the people who nominated me. Thank you to my family, friends for always supporting me and helping me with everything. And thank you to the community. It's a lovely community to be a part of, so thank you.
And last but certainly not least, I'm delighted to present the Naracoorte Australia Day Community Event of the Year Award to the organisers of the Naracoorte 2021 shows. So I think there's a representation of people who would like to come up, have that discussion, or come up if you wish. The 157th Naracoorte show, held in October last year, was a huge success with an estimated 2,600 people attending the event at the Naracoorte Showgrounds. After the cancellation of the show in 2020, a massive amount of work went into getting the event up and running again, and the entire community got behind it. Nominators for the show for the Naracoorte Australia Day Community Event of the Year Award said the show committee should be commended for all the effort that was put into planning and running such a successful event for the community to enjoy. They said that the country shows had been dying over many years. However, the Naracoorte Show Committee continued to work hard to put on a great family-friendly annual event. And they added that after the challenges of 2020 and with the cancellation of so many other events, it was a credit to the hard work and persistence of the show committee that the show was such a roaring success under quite difficult conditions. So congratulations to everyone involved, and I know that the Naracoorte community very, very much appreciated that you put that event on for us. Congratulations.
Well, as a pretty small committee, this is half of our committee over here, and then we've got about 4 others. We are beyond proud to have been, to be the recipients of this award, and to be in such great company with Mandy and Lucy here today. Probably the middle of last year, we weren't quite sure if we were going to have a show, but also nothing much was happening in the community. So we thought, I guess the Australian way is to have a go, and so we went through a lot to be able to put on the show, but I think it was all very much worth it. We had record entries, and to see so many people flock through the gates when the weather wasn't that great that morning, and just see people still hanging around at 4 o'clock when the gates were due to close was such a great thing. But it wouldn't have been possible without all of you, the community, particularly the Naracoorte Australia Council to start with. We went to them and said we would be facing a lot of extra COVID costs, and the council were great to come on board and help us out with that. But then sponsors, conveners, everyone that made this possible. The show's been going for 157 years, helping, I guess, showcase the talents of the community, and bringing people together, and it was really special last year to be able to put that on when a lot of other country shows didn't. So thank you very much, and yeah, we really appreciate the support of Naracoorte.
We're just going to do a little movement of this lectern, because our next part of the ceremony today is our citizenship ceremony, but I'd like to have enough room for all our new conferees. So. Oh, thank you. I didn't know where the brakes were on this thing, so I couldn't help. So it's now my great pleasure that I invite to the front to the following people for our very special Australia Day citizenship ceremony. The Akbari family, Karima, Fariba, Fatisha and Nagis, Hussein Imagoshu, Hayi Ali, Muhammad Zada Husseini, Muhammad Yosan Husseini, Jinwa Lee, Muhammad Zia Mahobi, Abarika Omar Ada, and Sayed Mujaba Sayed Hussein. Can you please all come forward? Please don't be shy. You can all stand just in front of. Come forward. Come forward a little bit. So that you're in front. Come forward. On Australia Day, we come together as a nation to celebrate what is great about living in this country and what we love about being Australian. It's a day to reflect on what it means to be Australian, whether it's by birth or by choice, what we have achieved and what we can be proud of in our great nation, our home. We celebrate the characteristics and values that make us proud to call ourselves Australian citizens. Our people, our land, our diversity, our equality, our freedom and democracy, and our sense of fair go for all. Australian citizenship ceremonies are an important part of Australia Day celebrations, and this ceremony is one of many being held around the country today. Today marks a special and important step in the lives of each of you, our conferees, and for those sharing this occasion with you, because today you will become Australian citizens. I congratulate all the conferees for the commitment you have made to being part of Australia's future. Unfortunately, the Minister for Immigration, Citizenship, Migrant Services and Multicultural Affairs, the Honourable Alex Hawke, MP, is unable to be here, but he did ask that I pass on his congratulations and best wishes and ask that I read the following message to you. Today, you become an Australian citizen. We are immensely proud of what we have achieved as a nation and we welcome you in joining us. Our history and culture has been forged over thousands of years, first through Australian and Torres Strait Islander people, and more recently with people from all corners of the earth. Australia has succeeded as a nation by embracing and defending our national values. We believe in the freedom and dignity of each individual, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of association. We value the rule of law, democracy, and equality of opportunity for all people. We stand with other democracies in helping to defend and protect these hard-fought freedoms. We are a resilient nation. Drought, bushfires, floods, and a global pandemic have challenged our normal way of life. Our social cohesion, a key strength of Australia, has never been more important. Upon taking the pledge of commitment today, I call on you to embrace these values and the rights and responsibilities of Australian citizenship and play an active part in your local communities to build an even stronger nation. On behalf of the Australian Government, I congratulate you on reaching this very special day. Alex Hawke. Becoming an Australian citizen is a step that shows loyalty to Australia and the desire to share a common future. It's an honour to confer Australian citizenship to people who appreciate and value our society so much that they wish to become one of us and make Australia their home. I warmly congratulate our citizenship conferees today for taking that final step in their journey to become an Australian citizen. I look forward to seeing the contribution that each of you will make to Australia, and I know have already made to Australia because they have been here for some time. We now turn to the formal part of the ceremony, which is conducted in accordance with the Australian Citizenship Act 2007. As part of the legal requirements for today's citizen ceremony, I will read the preamble from Schedule 1 of the Australian Citizenship Regulations 2016. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia. And Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing their democratic beliefs, by respecting their rights and liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. I will now ask all of our conferees to say together the pledge. Just like to point out that Karima Akbari, Fariba, Fatisha and Nargis Akbari are from Afghanistan. Hussein Amagush, whose country is also from Afghanistan. Haider Ali, also from Afghanistan. Mohammed Husseini, whose country is also Afghanistan. And Mohammed Yunus Husseini is from Afghanistan. Jiwa Lee is from South Korea. And then we have Muhammad Zaya Mahabi from Afghanistan and Abarika Omar Ada from Somalia. And finally, Sayed Hussein, who's also from Afghanistan. So if the conferees can repeat after me. From this day forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me in welcoming our newest Australian citizens. We do have some tokens to give out and some information and some plants to each of our conferees as a symbol of the start of new life, and we hope that, you know, their Australian plants will grow as well as their Australian lives. I'll just ask our conferees, or our new citizens, should I say, to stay here, because now that we've all witnessed Australia's newest citizens making their public pledge of commitment, I would like to invite everyone to participate in the Australian Citizenship Affirmation Ceremony. The Australian Citizenship Affirmation was introduced in 1999, and it's becoming an integral part of Australia Day celebrations. The words of the affirmation are based on the pledge that you have just witnessed our new citizens make. Participation is voluntary and carries no legal status. Participating in the affirmation ceremony is a means of expressing our pride in being Australian and provides an opportunity to affirm our loyalty to Australia and its people. The words are found on your program, and everyone is welcome to participate. Non-citizens are invited to join in with the affirmation on the second line. So if you'd like to take part, I invite you to stand now. And we can say together, as an Australian citizen, I affirm my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I uphold and obey. Thank you for your participation, and congratulations again to our Australian citizens, new and old. That concludes the formalities for this Australia Day citizenship ceremony, and I'd like you all to please just join with me again to congratulate our newest Australian citizens. You may be seated. Forgot that bit. And our new citizens may be seated as well. Just while they're sitting down, can I please just ask you all again to congratulate our Australia Day award winners together. Thank you. So congratulations to Mandy, Lucy and the Naracoorte Show. And a very special thank you to our Australia Day guest speaker in Charles Bryce. So thank you again, Charles. And Charles has agreed to come over to Lucindale to be the guest speaker there as well, so we really appreciate that. So thank you all again for your attendance. Please enjoy the rest of your Australia Day, and as I might easily say to each other, Happy Australia Day. Thank you. Yep. The award winners and all our new citizens, if they could come back out, because we just would like to take some formal photos and also to give out the tokens. So thank you.